Imagine this, the entire earth, silent. Not a bird in the sky, not a footstep on the ground. Just water, endless water. And then, the clouds part. The first dry land. The first breath of a new world. And in the sky, a color no one has ever seen before. If this kind of story stirs something deep inside you, consider liking the video and subscribing, not because you're told to, but because you want to walk with us through stories that still breathe today. Leave a comment. Where are you watching from? And what time is it right now in your part of the world? Now, take a deep breath. Let's enter the silence after the storm. Main content. You step out of the ark. The ground is soft, unfamiliar. The air smells different, washed, like the world itself has been reborn. Around you, the animals stir. They hesitate, then slowly begin to explore. And the sky, still grey, but lighter than before. You don't speak at first. You listen. To the wind. To your own heartbeat. To the silence that used to be filled with voices now gone. You survived. But at what cost? Your family? The only humans left. The world, washed clean, yes. But it wasn't just dirt that got scrubbed away. It was life, memory, history. And then you hear him, not thunder, not rage. A voice like still water. I establish my covenant with you. Never again will all life be destroyed by the waters of a flood. You hold your breath. This isn't just mercy. This is a promise. And not a quiet, conditional, if you behave kind of deal. It's permanent, irrevocable, divine. The rainbow appears. And then, light cuts through the clouds. A bend of color appears in the sky, soft at first, then bright, then brilliant. Red, orange, yellow, blue. And you're seeing something the world has never seen before. A rainbow. God doesn't just make a promise. He paints it into the very sky. A sign, a seal, a bough of war laid down, turned away from the earth. This is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you. A covenant for all generations to come. Not just you, not just humans, but every living thing. God makes a promise not just to save humanity but to hold back judgment from all creation, forever. And the symbol, not words carved in stone, not a throne, not a fire, but color, in the sky, beauty after judgment, grace after grief. The God who remembers. Here's something most people don't notice. In Genesis 9:15, God says, I will remember my covenant. God doesn't forget. He doesn't need reminders. But he still says it. Why? Because it's not about his need to remember. It's about your need to know you're remembered. That he says. That even when the clouds roll in, the promise remains above them. And that rainbow. It's not for him to glance at and say, oh right. It's for you. For every generation to come. To look up. And know, the storm will not last forever. After the flood, life resumes. You plant. You wait. The seasons return. The soil is hard, but it responds. The trees grow again. You watch your children walk in a world their ancestors never saw. You think back on the ark, on the days of rain, on the floating, on the waiting. And you remember the first moment you stepped onto dry ground. When the wind felt like a welcome. When the silence didn't feel like a threat. When the rainbow split the sky. And you know you will never see the world the same again. The promise in our storms. Now, come back to today. Maybe you're not surrounded by water, but you know the flood. Maybe yours was divorce, or addiction, or loss, or shame. Maybe the thing that swept through your life didn't come with thunder, but with silence. Maybe you thought you'd drown in it. And maybe, just maybe, you're standing now on new ground, breathing air you didn't think you'd live to inhale. Look up. The promise is still there. You don't have to rebuild alone, because the God of Noah is still the God of now. He doesn't just judge. He restores. He doesn't just save. He remembers. Why a rainbow matters. You ever wonder why a rainbow? Why not fire from heaven? Why not gold? Because a rainbow is light, refracted through water. The very thing that once destroyed the earth now bends to beauty. That's how God works. He takes the thing that broke you, and he shines through it. He bends it, and makes color. Joy out of weeping. Strength out of pain. Hope out of destruction. A covenant for all time. Let this sink in. God didn't promise you'd never face storms again. He promised he'd never destroy you in them. The rainbow doesn't mean no more rain. It means, even if the rain falls, I will not let it consume you. So maybe next time the clouds gather, you'll look up. And instead of fear, you'll remember, you'll breathe, you'll believe. Outro soft, reflective ending. So here we are, thousands of years later, still standing, still walking forward on dry ground, still catching glimpses of color when we least expect it. The promise of God wasn't a one-time event. It lives in your breath, in your healing, in the moments you thought were lost forever, but weren't. He remembers you. And when you see the rainbow next time, don't just see the sky. See the heart of a God who says, never again. I will remember. This is for every generation, including yours. If this story settled deep in your soul today, take a moment to like and subscribe. It helps us keep making space for people like you who are walking out of storms and into light. Let us know in the comments, have you ever seen a rainbow right when you needed one? And until next time, hold fast to the promise and look up.